most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical
Together
therapist.
we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
How to get up from the floor after falling safely. This is a huge problem, Brad. I would say, Brad and I would work with a lot of skilled nursing facilities and nursing homes. I'd be estimating off the top of my head, but I would say about 25% of the people come in had fallen, and some of them laid there for hours.
Or days.
Yep,
it's a big problem.
Yeah, and that's why, we're going to talk about the Lifeline, and we're going to really encourage people to have one. But if you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Also, join us on our social media channels because we are always giving something away every week. This week, we're giving away the Ergonomics Innovations Donut Cushion. Great for tailbone pain and sits bone pain and bony butts pain.
Right. Yep.
So,
Some people just like them that sit at a desk at a computer station all day long.
So if you go to Facebook.com, it's Facebook, Bob and Brad, it's always pinned at the top of the page. And if you go to bobandbrad.com, it's always under giveaways. All right, Brad, take it away.
Okay, so typically we're talking about, the older crowd, 50 and over, but maybe not. It depends on your situation. But falling, and this in particular is probably at home where there's nobody else around to help, and you find yourself, for whatever reason, tripping. I've had people trip over their dog. I've had people trip over the rug, or just an inadvertent fall without any apparent reason or tripping. So if you end up on the floor, boom, and you didn't lose your conscious, you're awake and you're alert. The first thing to do is do not panic. Lay there and take a deep breath and relax, and you're there and everything is okay. But then after that, you need to assess that you're okay, because you may have cut yourself, you may have broken a bone possibly, and not be aware of it with the trauma and the...
Well, also, you may have hurt your neck or back.
Right.
And so you really want to make sure you're fine in that regard, too.
Right. So the first thing, if you're down, make sure your neck is okay.
Yeah.
Because that's very important. If you did have a neck injury, you don't want to be moving that if it creates problems with your spinal cord or nerves. Give a visual check. See if there's any blood or anything of that nature. And then...
Does any joint look disjointed, like the hip?
Right.
Does it look
I've had people say they looked at their leg and the leg... The ankle was turned the other direction and didn't realize it until they looked at it. So if everything is looking good, nothing way out of place, then check your range of motion and pain associated with it. So, start out with your neck, like I said, back and forth, and then one arm, check your fingers, other arm, check your fingers, shoulders. If everything is working okay without pain or very little pain, then work to your hips and see if you can slide those knees up and down, wiggle your ankles.
If you broke your hip or dislocated, you're not going to be able to move it up and down.
Right. Get it up to here. And also you can do side, back and forth for a little more detail. Make sure everything is okay. And at that point, you need to call for some help, if possible. If you have a lifeline, Bob mentioned that in our intro, a lifeline is what we call it here. There may be other names for it, but it's the little band that goes around your wrist,
around your neck.
And what you do is you push the button, and that's a whole system set up. It usually costs $30, $50 a month. It's a service. Sometimes it's paid for.
So we have it. I have it both from my mother and my mother-in-law.
Sure.
And we always have to tell my mom, first off, don't ever take it off.
Right.
Even in the shower, these are waterproof.
Sure.
And that's where often you fall. So don't. And the same with Linda's mom. In fact, we'd call her every so often, test her. Do you have it on? No, I left it over on the. It's just like it's going to happen when you don't expect it. And so you got to have it on all the time.
Yeah. So wear it and know how to use it. They're very simple. So make sure, if you have a loved one or a friend or whatever that may need one, encourage them to get one, because it eliminates what we're going to get through.
Right.
If you don't have a lifeline and you cannot get any help.
Can't get to the phone.
Right. If you can crawl to the phone, I've had a number of people do that.
Yes.
Check everything out. And then, if you can get to this position and you can butt scoot, that works fine. If you can roll over to your stomach and get on your hands and knees, if that's an option that you could do. The biggest thing I have with people is rolling from their back to their stomach, their arm gets in the way.
Right.
And it's like, they can't get over that arm, or it's here and it's stuck. So if you tuck that arm underneath your body as far as you can, and then get over the bump using the opposite leg, and And once you get over it, life gets much better. And then work your arms up to here. And then if you can get to that quadruped, usually one person has a stronger leg and they usually know it. The stronger leg comes up first. And then you push yourself over that knee like this and up to that quadruped or hands and knees position. So as a matter of fact, now that I'm in this position, if you're at this position and you feel pretty good, like you can get up by yourself, go use a piece of furniture and get yourself to a piece of furniture and use that for like a stairway to help get your body up to the armrest. And that strong leg again is going to go up first. And then you're going to use your arms and your leg to get up. Now this is assuming you feel pretty confident that you can get up. Make sure once you're up, you're holding on to here, you will do some weight bearing and check out those hips. Is there any pain? If there's any pain in your hips or your legs at all, go right to the seated position.
Right. Yeah.
Don't try and walk because you may have a fractured hip and the pain may not be that much and you may start to walk and the hip fractures all the way and then down you go again.
It might be a partial fracture and
exactly.
then you'll make it a complete fracture.
Exactly.
So,
so this may be the best way to go and then get your bearings even a little bit more. Then if you can get to a phone or maybe someone's going to be coming over, whatever the situation is. The other thing that works really nice if you're in this position, and oftentimes furniture has a cushion that you can remove, put that down, and then you don't have so high to get to this chair to sit down on it because you know you're not going to get up and walk. If that's the situation, this is a really good option. Then this gives you a little bit higher. The chair gets a little bit lower. It makes for this transfer, going to use those armrests. If it's a couch, you only have one, of course.
And then you're barely even having, you are not even really having to lift at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there.
My bottom side is already there. I'm just twisting and turning. And you slide yourself.
It's nice if you're on a couch and you got the full length of the couch, you can take the two cushions off even.
Yep.
And then you don't have to worry about the armrest getting in the way. You can use the one armrest to help get you up, but the other you can just kind of slide over onto it.
Exactly.
So the couch is always a good option for trying to get up. You know, again, I can't emphasize enough, though, prevention is a lot better than trying to have to deal with this afterwards. And really having a system in place where somebody's checking up on you every day. We had a friend that they would have a light system where if they didn't turn the light off at night, that the neighbor knew something was wrong.
Oh, sure.
So the outside light.
Yeah. Knowing your neighbors at that age or if you're in that situation can be really a lifesaver, literally.
Yeah, exactly. But again, the Lifeline is well worth the money spent and keep it on all the time.
Right.
So
exactly. Once again, keep care of your friends and your family. Help them out. We're going to have another video on how to help someone get up from the floor if you're able-bodied and you would like to do that. Safe way to do it to keep everyone safe. What are you doing, Bob?
I'm trying to help you up.
Why, Bob? Why?
Thanks for watching.